So yesterday, Ryan Reynolds showed up by himself at the red carpet at Toronto Film Festival to promote his movie about John Candy. Blake Lively was not there. What does it mean? I'll get back to that shortly. Also, I missed a major thing yesterday in the filing from Jed Wallace. There were some references to Taylor Swift, which is kind of hilarious. I'll get into that too. And also, there is a new smear campaign, you guys. This time, they're accusing Rebel Wilson of using the same tactics to smear some producers at a movie she was involved in. And it's looking very complicated.
We have a story that threads together red carpet politics, ongoing legal storms, quiet marital rifts, and the way public image can shift overnight when the cracks in a carefully crafted narrative begin to show. So hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it because the events at the Toronto Film Festival have left everyone buzzing about Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and what their latest public moves say about the state of their relationship, their reputations, and the wider machinery of Hollywood that spins stories for the world to consume. Yesterday, Ryan Reynolds appeared at the Toronto Film Festival to promote his much-anticipated film about John Candy, a project that was supposed to be about honoring a beloved comedic legend and celebrating the hard work of the team behind it. But the red carpet was missing something, or rather, someone, his wife, Blake Lively. Instead, Ryan walked the carpet alone, though his mother accompanied him for photos, a subtle substitution that spoke volumes because the choice of having a parent by your side rather than your partner sends a message without saying a single word. And in Hollywood, silence often says more than statements ever could. The speculation immediately began. Was this about shielding Blake from questions about her legal troubles? Or was this about Ryan creating distance at a time when her controversies threaten to overshadow his career? For years, they have been a power couple who seem to thrive on playful public displays, quirky Instagram posts, humorous birthday tributes, mutual support at premieres and events, but in the past several months the tone has shifted dramatically. Ryan has quietly removed many of their shared photos from his social media. He broke his own tradition by skipping a birthday post for Blake this year. And on top of that, he has had to limit comments on his posts promoting this very film, a move that screams damage control in a world where engagement usually rules all. So what really happened here? Did Blake choose to stay away to avoid being a distraction? Or did Ryan ask her to, prioritizing his own moment over their shared image? If you read between the lines, it feels more like the latter. Blake loves the spotlight. She's no stranger to red carpets. She knows how to turn a moment into a headline. And her absence here doesn't fit that pattern unless someone told her that this night wasn't about her, and in fact needed to not be about her, because the ongoing lawsuit and PR storms swirling around her name have become a liability rather than an asset. And here's the irony. Her absence may have created an even bigger headline than her presence would have, because now people are talking not about what dress she wore, but about why she wasn't there at all, and speculation is often more powerful than any staged pose. Ryan's behavior at the festival also added layers to the conversation. In an interview with CTV News, he made a statement about the values he learned from John Candy. You don't punch down, you don't kick or hurt other people, and if you're going to hit someone, hit yourself. It was meant to be reflective and humble, but coming from Ryan, it landed with a thud for many because the internet doesn't forget. And just last summer, he was accused in a lawsuit of mocking and belittling Justin Baldoni in Deadpool through a character meant to satirize his image. And at the time he brushed it off, saying you can't sue over hurt feelings, an admission that cuts directly against the principle he now claims to live by. Fans noticed the contradiction, critics pointed it out, and the hypocrisy of preaching kindness while being accused of calculated mockery is the kind of inconsistency that sticks in the public's mind. To make matters worse, his interactions with fans at the event weren't exactly warming hearts. Several people who had waited for hours reported that he didn't stop for them, didn't wave, didn't acknowledge their presence, while others like Eugene at least offered a glance or a mouthed apology. There was even a child reporter who tried to ask him a question, only to be met with a brusque, "Let's skip to the question," a moment caught on video that painted him as impatient, dismissive, and unaware of how badly every small gesture is now being magnified. One particularly brutal comment circulating online compared him to the kind of guy who would sneak onto a women and children-only lifeboat on the Titanic. And while hyperbolic, it captures a growing sentiment that when things get tough, Ryan will save his own image first, even if it means leaving others behind. Meanwhile, Blake Lively is preparing to take the stage at Glossy NYC to promote her hair care brand, Blake Brown, in a sold-out event. And the question on everyone's mind is whether Ryan will show up for her or whether this pattern of separate appearances will continue, signaling a strategic uncoupling of their public personas designed to minimize collateral damage as their reputations take hits in very different arenas. And speaking of hits, there's a fascinating detail in the legal filings connected to Blake. Jed Wallace's team recently quoted Taylor Swift lyrics in their motion to dismiss, using lines from All Too Well about the seasons changing to mock the way Blake's. Legal arguments have shifted from spring to summer to fall without landing on solid ground. It's rare to see pop culture woven into legal documents, but this was both sharp and memorable, and it added a sting by reminding the public of Blake's once highly publicized friendship with Taylor Swift. A friendship that now seems conspicuously quiet. No public congratulations on Taylor's engagement, no supportive posts, and now Taylor's own words being weaponized against her in court. That silence speaks, too. If that weren't enough, Rebel Wilson has been dragged into her own controversy involving alleged smear campaigns against producer Amanda Ghost. And guess whose names are popping up in that lawsuit? Some of the same PR figures connected to Blake Lively's case, including Melissa Nathan, with texts allegedly discussing the creation of damaging websites and narratives designed to destroy reputations. The lawsuit even names sites like amandagool.com and amandagoolsucks.com and claims they were part of a calculated attempt to paint Amanda Ghost as a villain using racist and inflammatory content. Rebel, for her part, claims she was fighting for her credits and fair treatment on the film The Deb, which she directed, but now she's facing allegations that her team crossed lines in ways that echo the very tactics Blake has claimed were used against her opponents. The twist? Amanda Ghost has hired Camila Vasquez. Yes, the same lawyer who became a household name during Johnny Depp's trial. And now the alliances have shifted. Camila once worked alongside some of the same figures now being accused. And today she's on the opposite side, calling out the very tactics she once defended as organic. It's messy, it's interconnected, and it paints a picture of an industry where loyalty is transactional, narratives are negotiable, and reputations can be built or shredded depending on which side of the aisle you stand on at any given moment. For the people on the ground, the cast, the crew, the families trying to celebrate their work, this is collateral damage. John Candy's family showed up to honor his memory, to support a film meant to bring laughter and nostalgia, and instead they walked into a storm of tabloid headlines, fan speculation, and PR fallout that had nothing to do with the movie itself. When a premiere becomes a battlefield, when comments have to be turned off not because the film is bad, but because the star attached is too controversial to risk open dialogue, everyone loses a little. The filmmakers, the fans, the legacy of the person being celebrated. And this is becoming a pattern in Hollywood. Controversy bleeding into art being weaponized in lawsuits feeding the gossip cycle, gossip shaping the narrative before any facts are settled. Variety has run speculative pieces connecting dots without evidence. The New York Times has faced backlash for making leaps of implication that branded innocent people guilty by association. And now audiences are left wondering what to believe, who to trust, and whether any of this has anything to do with the truth. What's clear is that the Ryan and Blake brand, once a model of witty coupledom and carefully curated charm, is cracking under pressure. The missing birthday post, the deleted photos, the limited comments, the solo appearances, they add up. You don't need a press release to see that something has shifted. And in the vacuum of real answers, every small sign becomes a clue, every absence becomes a headline, Every offhand remark becomes a theory on Reddit. Ryan Reynolds, the man once known for turning every public moment into a meme or a viral joke, is now playing defense in a way that feels clumsy and reactive rather than clever and controlled. Blake Lively, who built a reputation as a fashion-forward, effortlessly glamorous actress-turned-entrepreneur, is now the subject of legal filings that read like satirical scripts, with opposing counsel turning pop lyrics into punchlines at her expense. And Hollywood, true to form, will keep feeding on this because conflict sells, downfall intrigues, and the same machine that once elevated them is now salivating over the slow unraveling of their joint image. Fans, meanwhile, are caught in the middle. Some loyal, some disillusioned, many simply curious to see who blinks first, who speaks first, who shows up for whom when the cameras aren't rolling. Will Ryan attend Blake's event? Will Blake make a surprise appearance at one of his? Or have they quietly agreed to split the stage, to survive the storm by sailing in separate lifeboats, each hoping the other's waves don't capsize their own? One fan in Toronto summed up the mood perfectly. They said they didn't even care which celebrity showed up anymore. The thrill was in the waiting, the cameras, the moment of proximity, not the substance of the person behind it. That's the kind of environment where an actor can breeze past a crowd and still be cheered, where a fan can make a sign pleading, "Ryan, leave Justin alone," and then ditch it for fear of blocking someone's view, where people scream names without knowing the story behind them. It's spectacle over substance. And that's exactly the kind of stage where a couple like Ryan and Blake can both thrive and implode because the audience only sees the surface while the real game plays out in legal documents, PR memos, and private negotiations. As this story keeps unfolding, expect more leaks, more statements, more carefully timed appearances designed to tell a story without actually telling it. Expect the lawsuits to get messier before they get clearer. Expect allies to shift and lawyers to trade sides. Expect pop culture references in courtrooms because even judges are human and a memorable metaphor can stick in the mind more than a dry statute. Expect, in other words, more of the same from an industry that has always been equal parts theater and war zone. For now, all we can do is watch the moves being made. Ryan showing up solo, Blake planning her own spotlight moment, legal teams trading jabs and filings that double as press releases, fans piecing together timelines from birthday posts and Instagram deletes. It's modern celebrity in a nutshell. Real lives lived like serialized dramas, each episode hinting at a twist, each cliffhanger designed to keep the clicks coming. And until someone breaks the script, this is the version we get: a marriage under strain, a star under scrutiny, a film overshadowed by the noise of everything but its story. So keep your eyes open, your expectations measured, and your popcorn ready because this ride isn't over. It's just entering its next act. And if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that the most shocking scenes are always saved for the third act.